Hello, you are listening to WMEB 91.9 FM Orono, Maine, and I'm joined in the studio with...
Aull, what's going on, man?
Oh my gosh, who's this guy? Tell me about yourself.
I'm a hip-hop artist from Portland, Maine, 24. I used to go to school up here at Huston, actually, studying audio engineering. And yeah, I've been making music for like 8 years now, and things are starting to pick up a little bit here and there, a little step by step. So I'm having fun with it. I love to make music.
Sweet. I heard you had I had a show with you last night. I didn't get to experience the Slice Bar experience. Tell me about that.
It was good. It was good stuff. We performed at Aull a couple times in the past, and since they opened up Slice Bar, they were like, "Yo, do you want to come through and kind of set it off?" One of our first things that we do, and couldn't pass it up. Had to come back up, and we had a good time. There was a lot of heads out there, and we got our drink on. We performed and provided the entertainment, provided the vibe.
Yeah, this isn't a 9:30 in the morning interview. Something like that. So, growing up in Maine, how much do you feel you owe like the local Maine scene, as far as like for your attitudes, your approach?
It definitely, being from Maine, being a hip hop artist from Maine especially, is like, you gotta be humble first and foremost. Just like, that's how I try to be in anything, but in the music scene and whatnot, and being an artist from Maine, especially in hip hop, people are like, "What? Like, you're a rapper from Maine? Like, that's unheard of almost, And so I feel like that has helped a lot. Like, being from Maine has really been like a humbling type thing, and that's helped me build relationships and keep my head on straight, and that's just kind of how I am in general. So
I gotta ask, I've read a couple interviews and you talked about like inspirations from like other MCs, but like,
yeah,
off the mic, who are your biggest artistic influences? I'm curious.
Off the mic.
This is a hard question, alright? I admit, sorry. Like if someone's like artistic approach or something, not specifically what they're doing on mic.
That's a tough one. I mean, on the mic and off the mic, I'm a big fan of J. Cole, just because I like the way he carries himself. Art is always real. He's not talking about, BS all the time, and I think he has a good message, and he carries himself in a manner that you would hope someone of that stature would. He's not he keeps it real, basically, is what I'm trying to say, So I appreciate that, and that's something I think I gravitate towards, genuine.
Speaking of influences, I'm curious. You have an album of the year for 2018, anything that really caught your attention that you haven't really given up on for 2018?
Oh, album of the year in 2018. It's crazy because
it's a stale question, okay, I admit, but
so many projects came out that last year, man. I just I felt like every weekend I had to dive into like 3 new albums. I mean, I definitely really like J. Cole's project, KOD. Internet James is a rapper that I listen to, and he dropped, I'd say, maybe my favorite project of the year. It's a shorter one. It's like 8 songs, but he's super dope. If you haven't checked out Internet James, that's probably my favorite project, 2018. Internet James.
All right. I've listened to your stuff, and I've been pretty impressed.
Thank you.
Previously, you've kind of described like your motivations as far with hip hop as being a little bit more centered towards bars.
Yeah.
And I noticed that with the release of This Feeling, which is like has a little bit more of a groove, and I guess is a little bit
bouncy.
A little bit of switch up. Do you think that this has changed? How has this changed your approach towards like I guess your artistic approach, if it has at all?
Oh, a ton. Like over the past year, first and foremost, when I started, and for the first major chunk of my career, I was always just like bars. I love 90s hip hop, so real raps always appealed to me. But all my favorite artists rap and sing, and so I was like, I want to sing more. So over the past year, I started to incorporate more melody. I've been singing more in my songs, and that has really opened up a whole new lane for me, because now I can do things that I couldn't before. I can have more melodic hooks and do bouncier songs like that, because I can carry it with more than just the bars. I can carry it with some singing now too. And also it helps me translate ideas to people who are better singers than me, for them to get on my songs too. So singing and being melodic has changed my music 100%, and for the better. So
Oh, that's super cool to hear. I guess with the scene right now, I don't know, I don't want to get too critical, But I wouldn't say lyricism is like a high point.
No.
And it seems to be like kind of an era more towards a lot of producers with big tags, etc. Given this general trend and like the biggest of the big of the mainstream, do you feel like this helps you stand out, or how does this affect your approach, or how you think that you're perceived as a hip hop artist?
I think like my approach, I still try to do like keep the lyricism part of it, because I mean that's the foundation, you know. I mean, it's hip hop, it's rap, and the majority of like the bigger artists now, you know, the lyricism's like kind of trending downwards, but it's more about the beats and the melodic, and I definitely dig that, because the melodic part of the song, that's like what moves you really. But I try to keep a good balance of good lyricism and good melodies, because I just feel like that's always gonna win. Like at the end of the day, if you only focus on one too much, you might appeal to like a certain crowd, but I think you should always have a good balance. And I think that's why you see some of the best artists out are successful, because they have a good balance.
So, I hear through the grapevine you're doing something at NESCOM. What are your accomplishments there?
Oh yeah, I graduated from there 2017. I studied audio engineering. So when I got out of high school, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I went to community college for a year, and I knew I wanted to do something like music-wise, and somebody told me to check out NESCOM, and I was like, what's that? And learned about it, came and checked it out. I was like, damn, this is where I should be. It could help my own music career as well. And I built some good connections, met some good people, and learned a lot about, you know, the technical side of making music and whatnot, because it goes a lot deeper than some people think. But yeah, so graduated from there in 2017 with a degree in audio engineering. It's definitely helped be able to, when I talk to like an engineer, like know what I really want to get out of my music, because I have that knowledge behind it too. So,
has your policy on attaching notes with t-shirts changed recently? I noticed that there was a little bit of an interesting development. I'm just curious if that has affected.
That's so funny. I was like, wait, what are you talking about for a second? Yeah, no. So I guess I'll like break it down. I like had some merch.
Yeah.
I had some merch I was shipping out to people, you know, some shirts a few months ago. And I always put a note in it in my packages, because, you know, you make it personal. Like, you appreciate somebody who's buying something from you, and you want to let them know that they're appreciated. So one was to a girl, and, you know, I couldn't have said anything more on the note than like, yo, like, you're dope, thank you so much, I appreciate you. And I remember like maybe a week later, I got tagged in something on Instagram. This dude was like burning my shirt and he was like saying like, yo, he was like in the video, he's like, this guy's writing love letters to my wife, like yada yada, thinks he can do this, I'll burn his shirt. And I was like, what in the world, like what the hell's going on, yo?
I'm sorry for this, guys, I had to bring this up. If you want to bury this, I understand, but like, come on.
Nah, that's mad funny. No one's asked me about that before. So yeah, no, that was like wild, and I like offered to send her another shirt after, because I was like, yo, first of all, get out of that relationship. But you know, so yeah, but I offered to send her another shirt. I haven't yet, but I will. Shout out to that girl, I forget her name, but I hope she got out of that relationship, you know.
Okay.
But no, my policy has not changed. I'm still sending the love letters, all right?
All right. I'm curious. You, of course, have a great connection with your fans, especially the fan base around here, because geographically, you know, it's pretty tight.
Yeah.
I'm curious, who do you look for? Whose opinion do you care most about, aside from like a general fan base? Maybe if there's like a group or a single person or someone you're really trying to reach. I'm curious.
I mean, I'd say the opinions I care the most about right now are just people like around me, like in my inner circle, because we kind of scheme up all the moves ahead of time. You got to play chess, not checkers, and I feel like the opinions of the people around me are the ones that matter the most, because we are like going through this together in a way, you know. So they're helping me. Maybe I'm gonna do something that's like not a good idea, and they like reel me back in or something like that, you know. And so as far as like, you know, fans' opinions is dope too, obviously. I love to hear other people's opinions and whatnot, but at the end of the day, like, the music I make is gonna be music that I want to make or would want to listen to, regardless of like somebody's opinion. So, but yeah, my inner circle and I mean, it would be dope to reach the opinions of some big names out there that I met. I'd love to, you know, get
Big Quinn.
yeah, I'd love to get some you know, a Sway opinions or something like that. That'd be super dope. Sway in the morning. Trying to get there someday soon.
Alright, this isn't quite Sway in the morning. This is who the heck I am at 3 p.m.
Hey, it's all good.
No
Gotta start somewhere.
Alright, this is kind of a ridiculous question.
Oh, let's get it.
People are mad sometimes. Football man, no stand up. Name a track that you would proudly put your hand over your heart to and in place of the national anthem.
Probably Work Remix by A$AP Ferg.
Excellent.
Yeah, I think I could do that. Also, maybe the best song of all time, Return of the Mac.
Oh my
Return of the
gosh.
Mac.
Okay. I didn't expect such a great answer. How has it been kind of coming up in Maine and I guess not meeting as much your heroes in Maine, but just sort of like coming up to the point where like you've worked with Spose.
Yeah.
I heard you met Amine or
Oh, Amine.
yeah. Yes, excuse me.
Well, didn't quite meet him. Kind of just like brushed shoulders, like walked. He was a walk by. We were in New York chilling, and we went to like this pro era party. Joey Badass and like all the pro era guys were out there, and then next thing I know, I looked over my shoulder and Amine was walking by me, and I mean I didn't get to say what's up, but it was just like dope to be like, oh, like we're just in the same room chilling with some of these people. But in terms of like being from Maine, I mean that example right there is like that would never happen in Maine. Like you would never get to like brush shoulders with people like that in Maine just because I mean Portland's the biggest city and there's like 60,000 people. You know, it's like it's a small market, especially for hip hop. And I mean, in some ways, that's been dope because you can start to become like a big fish in a small pond. But you don't. That's not what you want. At the end of the day, you want to go for more than that. And I've seen the music scene grow here quite a bit since I started. But I wanna reach some bigger markets soon here. So I mean, we might have to get out of the state. Might have to leave Maine for a little bit.
What?
You know. Maybe I'll come back when I'm ready to start a family, but that's not for a long time. So.
I feel that. Opinions on diss tracks. At what point would you ever think of entertaining maybe a verse or a bar or even a whole track?
I mean, I have made diss tracks in the past. Actually, it's funny. My career started off of a diss track. That was the first song like I ever recorded. Some kid in high school, you know, was talking a mess about me and my friend. And yeah, so instead of squaring up, we just hit him with the diss track, flamed him real quick. The whole school heard it, and they were saying, "Yo, this is good. You should you guys should keep rapping." And so that's how my career started. So I guess I'd have to say my opinion on diss tracks is that's hip hop. That's just like rap sometimes. So.
I just have to take an aside that like the shout out to the Bear Brew was I read that and I'm like, there's no one else, or I can read this and just know exactly that it's the Bear Brew.
Yeah, especially now that it's gone. R.I.P.
Rest in peace.
I mean, like it was funny because obviously the Bear Brew, like the last couple years that I was going to school up here, like I mean you hit the Bear Brew every like that's a Thursday night spot, you know. And so we would always be hitting the dance floor, boogieing on, you know, hitting the pit, we called it. And the feeling that, I mean, that song kind of just like, it makes you dance. So I was like, man, I gotta shout out my roots here, you know, on the dance track. And because I would love to hear that playing at, if that played at the Bear Brew, I'd be breaking it down in the middle of the circle, you know. So that's how I had to shout the Bear Brew out. R.I.P. though.